Welcome back to another episode of the Ridgeway Pod. I'm your host Udoy, and I'm here with Ush. And today is a grim episode in ways, but also another in other ways. I see it as a freedom episode for both of us because now we can kind of watch unbiased playoff basketball and just like watch basketball at the highest level and not feel like crashing out after every game. Which sucks as a fan, but great as a casual. So yeah, as you guys can tell by this intro, we are going to be talking about the Lakers elimination. It turns out it was Timberwolves in five, as Ant has been saying lately, which he's not wrong. And yeah, before we get into it, please hit that like button, comment on how happy you are that the Lakers are out because everybody seems to be online, and subscribe. Most importantly, we appreciate the support. So yes, yesterday the Lakers got eliminated in game five at the Staples Center, crypto.com arena, wherever you want to call it, by the Timberwolves, by the most magisterial performance by Rudy Gobert in his whole entire career. It was honestly not that shocking. Like, if somebody was gonna do it, it had to be a big man, and it was Rudy Gobert to finish us off, to be like the final kill shot. Yes, that's the word. 27 points and 24 rebounds. None of them offensive, by the way.
24 rebounds.
I don't even. I'm pretty sure the 9 offensive rebounds are a record.
That's itself. Even more insane.
Forget about the 24 defensive ones. The 13 or whatever. My math's cooked. 14 defensive ones. Julius Randle had 23 points. LeBron and Luka, they got their stats at the end of the day, but there's so much more of a bigger story why the Lakers kind of failed. But we could start off with, I think you could say, the rebounding. Like yesterday, for example, it was 54-37 to the Timberwolves. Like, that's a nuts, insane thing to do. But I think Ushmoy, like, for me, one of the biggest things also is, like, I know a lot of people are gonna go to, oh, you match up bad with the Timberwolves and this and that, which is not entirely wrong. But I just think there's more than that, because I feel like every game bar like game one, and like I guess yesterday we didn't lead all that much, but we pushed them. Lakers were going into the fourth quarters with like the lead, and they were in control, quote unquote, with the game. And then I just feel like they just lost it. They gassed out at the end. Whatever happens, unclutchness,
tired. The last 3 years,
they just die. Same thing with the Nuggets series. If you really go back, pre JJ Redick, with Darvin Ham and all that stuff. Like the Timberwolves were 0 for 18 to start from 3-point range yesterday. Like, forget if they're catch and shoot or if they're off the dribble, they were missing everything until I think like Connolly hit some shot or something, or at the end there he iced them. But like that's like a big thing of like, are the Wolves good or are the Lakers like dog shit? And obviously there's people are gonna go to rotation stuff like JJ Redick not playing a thing, which I think is a factor. Like, I'm just kind of throwing out bones here of like what went wrong. Like, we already talked about the rebounding. JJ, forgetting about the rest of the team. Not forgetting, he just stopped trusting the team. I don't know if that makes you a good coach or a bad coach. In this case, it's a pretty terrible decision because you lost. So like, that's nuts too. Like, you have 40-year-old LeBron James, out of shape, back injured, whatever, Luka, like going on, like, whatever's happening with Luka, and the rest of the three teams. We have Rui Hachimura saying in his post game that they need someone who can get rebounds. What have you been screaming for him to do for the last 3 years? Like,
rebound the ball, man.
It's funny. I was okay with Rui's performance until he said that. Like, bro, if you would get a rebound or two, how about that? Like,
he's might be the only wing I've ever seen that like can't average 5 rebounds a game. Like even Kevin Durant does it, and Kevin
that's what I was
in the paint ever.
Yeah, that's true, and that's the thing with this series. I think comes down to a lot of things, right? It's like the stuff we've already mentioned. There's the fourth quarter struggles, I think, was insane, and if you want to put a number to it, it's 127-85 in fourth quarters, and throughout the Lakers were shooting 29% in those fourth quarters. Like, that's literally the definition of closing a game gone wrong. And one other thing, fourth quarter, defensive struggles for sure. I know I'm a Luka Doncic like homer or whatever. If we had like an insane fan base, would probably be calling me that. But yeah, his defensive performance was criticized. And it's like, whether it's his conditioning or effort, this and that. Like at this point, it doesn't. It's just annoying to say it. Like during the series, when we were kind of in the series still, it was like we can pinpoint everything, but it's I guess our lungs are just empty at this point, and he could. But then at the same time, offensively, he was giving as much as he could. But it's no excuse when everybody's like other than LeBron is giving 0% on defense, like blow by Kings. And no rim protection. Also, I'm not gonna lie. Like it's not like Luka was this all insane all the NBA defender in Dallas, but he had a great support system. Okay, forget about PJ Washington and all those wings. When somebody were to blow by him, he could funnel them into a Derek Lively or a Gafford or a DJJ if they're chilling at the dunker spot. So the roster construction obviously is just like not this best suited for Lucas to hide his deficiencies in that situation. And like I said, the roster gaps. We lost Anthony Davis, who was like the greatest two-way player as a center, as a power forward, whatever. And we have no centers to back it up. But yeah, I'll let the floor go on to you for like to say what you kind of have to say based on what I just said. But yeah, or move on. Yeah, I don't care.
The biggest thing of the series for me myself was I didn't follow my own rules when I my own playoff rules. My big three rules is rim pressure, rim protection, and rebounding. Those are the biggest. Those are three things that will any championship team. They are elite at it. They're not. It's not like they're one of them they're terrible at, or they're good or great at all three of those things. And the Lakers were awful at every single one of those things. The rim pressure that we used to have, that's what I was banking it on when we used to play with AD and that team. But obviously, we don't have a center, so we didn't have him. Rim protection, again, another thing. We didn't have a center, so we had zero rim protection. And then the other one was rebounding. Another thing, AD averages like 14 rebounds a game in the playoffs for us. Again, he wasn't there. So this team, like, this is disappointing. Like, don't get it twisted. This is definitely disappointed. Like, even if we were to lose, losing this way is pathetic because you're losing in 5 games. And yesterday's game, it was no effort. They didn't care. They were checked out. They just they didn't care enough, and they got into the fourth quarter close game, and then they just let Minnesota go on like an 8-0 run to end the game. It's like these guys they just didn't care enough. So that's why this is embarrassing. But if you look at it in totality, it's like, look, there's a lot of places we can place blame, like you said. But the biggest thing is that we made a trade. We made a trade in the middle of the season for a great player, Luka. Like Luka's Luka. Like, don't get it twisted. Like, I still don't think Ad's better than Luka. I still don't think what's it called? Halliburton's gonna be better than Luka now. Like the only person, only two players can be better than Luka by the end of this whole playoff thing, and it's Jason Tatum and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Those are the only two players who can prove that they're better than him. But
yeah, no, for sure.
You get somebody like Luka, and you get both, and you gave up. The roster was built for AD. This roster was built for AD. No matter what even if AD doesn't love it because he said he didn't love it, it was still built for him to be the center of the team, and that's how we played. We were playing great going down the stretch. We already talked about this when the trade originally happened, but and then we just added Luka and we got rid of one of our better perimeter defenders, by the way, in Max Christie, and then who was coming into his own this season, and then we got rid of AD, who was our best rim protector. Our defensive game plan has always been for the last 3 years and every team does this if they have an elite shot blocker. It's funneling. You funnel the players into the center, but you have to at least show some sort of pressure on the top to funnel them in correctly, which is something that we didn't do at all, which is one of my biggest flaws with Luka itself, where it's like you're not putting in effort to stop the guy from walking into the paint. He's just walking into the paint, which this is something that it's not new with Luka. This is something that he eventually, like, remember with Jokic in 2020, in 2019, and even 2021, it was kind of like, yo, you're a fat ass. Like, they're just the people can just bully you, take your breath away.
Or they know you're not jumping.
And you're not jumping, you're getting gassed down. No, but even on his offensive end, he was so slow.
Like
to
sluggish,
sluggish, slow. Like, he couldn't move. He couldn't run in transition, all these things. And guess what he did? He worked on his body. Luka's not LeBron. I mean, Jokic is not LeBron body, but Jokic like got to a point in his conditioning where playing 48 minutes doesn't wear him down in the slightest.
Yeah, right. It's true. I
which
think.
we can see with Luka. Like it happened. Like he's the best first quarter player of all time, and then in the fourth quarter, like obviously he's clutch. Like no one's not saying he's clutch. It's just with this roster and the amount of energy he needed to put out, especially
Yeah,
with the defense that Minnesota puts out. They're a great defensive team. It wears people down after a while. Now that's not the biggest reason why we lost. To be honest, the biggest reason why we lost was because Nas Reed, um,
Hmm.
Julius Randle, Rudy Gobert, Mike Connolly, Dante. You could even name Dante DiVincenzo, Nikhil Alexander Walker. All of them outplayed Austin Reeves. That's the reason we
Every
lost.
single one.
And guess what happened last year? The same thing happened last year. He is just not built for the playoffs. His game is predicated, and we say this about so many other superstars, but we don't say this about somebody like him. Him and Brunson have the same game. Like they're predicated on um,
Calls.
drawing contact.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm a little sick, guys. Um, his game is predicated on drawing contact, and he's it's even more egregious than Brunson because Brunson can at least get he has he's such a 3 level scorer that even if he's not getting calls, he's gonna still be able to he can get a bucket on anybody. It's kind of like Kyrie. You kind of put why did Luka and Kyrie have so much success? Because Kyrie is unguardable. Like he's gonna get his shot. Like even if he's not shooting the best percentage, he's still
Hmm.
gonna get efficient, good looks because that's his shot. With Austin, he's not a great 3 level scorer. Yeah, he can score at 3 levels, sure. And
Yeah.
when he's driving to the paint, he's not driving to the paint to finish. He's driving to the paint to get a foul. And they took him out of this series completely. He could he couldn't do the 2-way thing. Ant, him guarding Ant, he
Yeah.
did. We did a
And
great
guarding
job
him.
on Ant.
Yeah.
We did a great job on Ant in totality of the series. It's more
Hmm.
so everything else that went on our offensive end. It's our offense deficiencies. It's been like this since we got Luka though. Well, our play calling rate, what's it called? Craig Jennis always be talking about play calling rate,
It's true.
but it's a real thing. Like when you see how our offense is flows, you can tell like these guys are just doing whatever. He says a lot freelance. That's literally what it is. It's a lot of just isolation basketball. We didn't even like. Eventually, in the middle of the series, we stopped setting screens. Like any little like offensive advantage we could have, we didn't take it. So it's a combination of personnel, rookie coaching, you know, fatigueness. It's a combination of so many things in this series. But
Hmm.
to say that this is a surprise is not true. It wasn't a surprise. After game one, I even tweeted, I was like, yeah, I know how this series is gonna go because they kind of just exposed every single flaw we had and they went at it. That's
No,
basically it.
it's true. I think I kind of wanted to go to the JJ Redickness of all this because obviously he's not an idiot. Like he'll figure something out for next year with the personnel changes and stuff like that. But I think you even said this after like game three or something, where like Jackson Hayes got like 2 fouls, and it's like, okay, but like let him foul out. Like you need some sort of rim pressure, and it can't be LeBron James at 50 years old. Like,
One thing JJ Redick doesn't do, which I noticed, is that he hates experimenting. He doesn't like it at all.
which
It's
is
one thing I've noticed
concerning though.
because we've seen it with Vogel and we've seen it with Ham as well. Like 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 in the 2020 finals when after what's his name? No, no, not the finals. Like game, it was one of the. I think it was the second round against the Rockets.
Rockets.
And in the finals where it was like, yo, we can't play JaVale McGee. They're playing small and they're just taking advantage of us. We need to start Alex Caruso. And Vogel's like, okay, look, I'm gonna just try this. Let's see how it goes. We blow the next team out by 20. Like any type of experimental changes, that's the biggest red flag I saw with JJ Redick. But
Hmm.
I'm gonna chalk that up to rookie coaching and
Sure.
maybe communication with assistant coaches, also personnel. Like there's not really much we can play. Like we're having Gabe Vincent and Jared Vanderbilt. Sorry, they're useless, man. They're useless in the playoffs. We
That's the
already
thing.
know this.
Like, oh yeah, for sure. I don't want to go into Vando because we all know like He doesn't even want to shoot the ball. Like you're just playing 4-on-5 offense. Like it's nuts. But that's the thing with me. Like he only played like 8 minutes each game if you really like averaged it out, like Jackson Hayes did. And I know we had like Alex Len, this and that, but at this point you kind of have to throw something out there because we know it, like especially with Jackson Hayes, like offensive, like defensively, like sure maybe he's a cone or this and that, but I feel like offense, like he'll muck it up though because DFS and LeBron being your main rebounders, when and why I'm saying this, it's hindsight, but it's like you were so close each game. That's the problem. Like if they were blowing you out the whole time, that's one thing. But even yesterday with Rudy Gobert's Shaquille O'Neal, Will Chamberlain ass game, they were literally within 8, within 5, within 6, within 4, like 3, and then eventually they tied it with the horrendous performance of lack of rebounding and all that stuff. So I'm just like, if you have Jackson Hayes there with for a couple more defensive rebound possessions,
I
like
will say though,
will that not help a little bit? That's like the
I will,
stubbornness
I
that I
will
was
say
like,
though with
yeah,
the Minnesota Timberwolves, their offense, like if we watch the series, their offense, like the Lakers, had an okay defensive scheme, but the Minnesota Timberwolves personnel wise, their offense is just not that good though. I feel like they kind of just kept us around for a lot of it, just because like at poor shooting,
yeah.
um,
So this
Mike
Timberwolves from
Conley poor
last year,
shooting, like it's the same team basically, right?
yeah,
Except for Randall is just more versatile than Cat, like
yeah,
defensively and
and
offensively because
he faced his playoff demons. Because bro was a 35% field goal percentage the last 2 playoffs he
no,
played in,
literally
and
though.
this time it
Like,
was like 47%.
but that's how easy it was to score on us. It,
Mm-hmm.
it it was more so like how many blown layups did Ant have in yesterday's game? Like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
so many wide open looks, they're just bricking. It's not really something that the Lakers were doing right. It was more so like the Minnesota
true.
Timberwolves just not that good offensively. I was just imagining like Lakers try this defense against OKC. We'd probably get 40 every game. Like, you
No,
know what I mean? Like that's why I feel like this series, like even though how close it seemed, it wasn't
yeah.
as it shouldn't have been as close if this was if we were playing against a competent offense.
Well,
Which I brought up in the series preview. That
it's
was my
fun.
biggest point with the Wolves. They don't have a good offense.
It's funny because now that I think about it, it's gonna be like, um, it's like if the Rockets go through next round, it's like, bro, that offense versus the Timberwolves offense is gonna be like bring back 2000s hoops or something, dead
I
ball
don't think
eras
I
back.
don't think the Rockets can even like guard them. Like that's the other thing. Like the
No, but
Rockets
like,
don't have that.
but the clearly Timberwolves have a thing of keeping people around too. So it's
Oh
just like,
yeah, definitely.
so like their misses, their bricks, and the Rockets bricks are gonna be like an insane like mansion house being built. Like, because like the Rockets also don't have that like go-to scoring machine that you know what I mean. Like they're just kind of like
I will
who's
say
coming today.
like
But
the
yeah,
biggest thing, like where like I've been seeing on Twitter and stuff like that, like people looking to blame this, looking to blame that, there's blame to go around everywhere. Everybody played like ass.
oh yeah,
The front office was ass. The coaching staff was mid. Like everybody has a. This is like the most equal blame I've ever seen, like in a LeBron series ever. Everybody played bad. That's why they lost. Like, there's not really an exception here. Like
hmm
what the what the what I tweeted after the game 4, I think, was was that Rob Pelinka, you have you have this roster, you know what's flaws, you have the good players, you know what to get around them. Now it's just up to you to do it. And
hmm,
then from there, if he does it, then it's on JJ, Luka, and Braun to figure it out from there.
that's true.
There should be. I don't think there's like non-championship aspirations next year just because LeBron's getting a year older. Like,
Yeah, yeah. No, well,
it doesn't.
every year you have Luca, it's a championship or bust season now. Like
Mhm.
going forward, now it's up to you to make a team around him. And like, might I remind the audience that he literally made the finals last year, being underdog in many of the series because the team was also really constructed well. But like, I think it's people fail to realize like Kyrie was his backcourt mate. Like Kyrie was playing starter minutes with Luka Doncic and went to the finals against the big bad OKC Thunder, against the big bad Timberwolves, and who did they first in the first round? Oh, Clippers, right? Like I know, like the well constructed Clippers, right? Like they're all the same personnel, more or less. And that's the thing. I'm like, if only Reeves showed half the production Kyrie did. Like, Kyrie was a big reason why they smoked the Timberwolves last year too. Or like Ant was seeing ghosts. Like he couldn't
Also,
guard.
like
Like
you couldn't. They couldn't. We literally didn't play a center.
yeah, for sure. Yeah,
They're one of the tallest teams in the league, and we
like what are you
refused to
gonna
play a
do?
center.
Right,
They
like
played Nas Reed, Rudy Gobert lineup, and just sat in the paint the entire game.
bro, I've never seen Jaden McDaniels be that offensively gifted in my whole like watching
It's
Jaden
so,
McDaniels.
but it's so
Like,
easy
it
because
was that easy.
we have no rim protection. Like that's
Yeah.
like it's such a huge like
That
glaring hole.
that's the
You
thing. You
just
know
see
what?
it, right?
You know when Ant would sometimes have a dunk or like on Luka or something or like or cut and laid it in athletically.
Mm,
It was not very often. It was very like sparingly he would. I'm like, oh, there's Ant, like especially usually probably crunch time. He's doing something crazy. Other than that, he's just jacking up a bunch of like long range shots. But guess
he
what?
shot 0 for 11 from there.
But guess what? Jaden McDaniels is driving in. Rudy Gobert is scoring 20 points. Julius Randle is like getting whatever he wants on anybody, and like Nas doing his thing. So it's like, bro, it's like it's a what you call a revolving door. Like the
Well,
defense was a revolving door. So
this also
yeah,
goes to the bigger point of the NBA in general now, which I talked about this last pod too.
deep.
But
Yeah,
this we are in the weak link era. Like
yeah.
it's not about who, if you have the best player on on the court. It's not about if you have the two best players on the court. It's about who is the worst player on the court and
Mm.
how much is he gonna make you lose.
Yeah,
And
how
Lakers had
worse?
three of them at all times on the court.
Yeah, it's
Like if
true.
we're going off the 10, it goes, Luka, LeBron, Ant. I mean, the entire whoever is on the Wolves, and then the rest of the Lakers. Like that's just
Mhm.
it's just how the sport works now. That's why teams like
Yeah,
OKC, teams like Boston, and teams like the Nuggets the other year, teams like the
yeah.
Bucks, the Suns. Like
Well,
you have to have a
Pacers.
good eight. You have to have a good eight.
Yeah,
You have to have
the
a great
yeah.
four, good seven, good eight. You know what I mean?
It's funny too. Like before we wrap up, I mean, we're not wrapping up exactly, but like one of the funny things I was thinking of today before doing the episode, I was just like, when the trade deadline was February 6th, right? And then the whole Mark Williams thing happened, like the failed trade. And I was thinking about, and I went and checked the stats, and I was like, okay, so the Hornets from February 6th to obviously till the end of the season, how many games did they have? They had 33 games. Mark Williams played I think 21 games, and he averaged 15 and 11, and 13 of those was a double double. And so okay, again, like there was just like he's a
Well, even
classic
that
big, right?
itself, it's
Yeah.
even that itself. It's like why the I don't even mind rescinding the trade,
No,
but
no,
you didn't
yeah.
even play Dalton
But
Reeves.
that's
So
what I was
then,
gonna like. So
like,
either have Mark Williams, who's I think a serviceable center. Like we were in the last episode, we are like, yo, if Rudy Gobert was with Luka, I think Rudy Gobert would be the best version of himself, like
no, Derek
unlockable.
Lively sucks ass, and like he
So
was
so like
god last
Mark
year. Like,
Williams, whether maybe if you didn't have whatever he has, I don't know what physical he failed, but it's like would it have changed the series? Well, like hopefully Rob's gonna look into it. Well, not Mark Williams necessarily, but like whatever free agent bigs are out there or tradable, and then Dalton Connect gets no minutes, but like Austin Reeves can't hit a barn, like the side of the barn roof, and it's like or anyone else really, because Gabe lost his 3-point shooting that he had in the regular season. That we were like, oh wow, he's kind of a two-way guy.
DFS doesn't even take shots.
No
It takes
more.
5 shot attempts. Like
Yeah.
I
So
thought
now
you
you
were
have
3 and
DFS and Vando. They're just like D&D. Like pause, but like what the hell are we doing
and there's
here?
no defense either because like they just walk into the paint. Like
And it's nuts
great
because
perimeter defense, guys.
yeah,
Like
great job, guys. And guess what? LeBron's out of everyone who's doing D&D and whatever. LeBron's the best defender, and he
he
has the
on the
most.
court.
He had the most stocks in like year 300, and like leading the team in rebounds and blocks and assists and this and that. Like, bro, that's a recipe for disaster. Like, let's pivot to LeBron. Like, I know that he's probably gonna come back next year, this and that. Like, come on, though. Like, he just because he's a year older doesn't mean he's gonna decline like that crazy. And his fatigue was also setting. Obviously, we all saw it, but it's also like, yo, he's playing a full half. Like good job, JJ. Like that's smart to do. Maybe sub out LeBron James while you have, make Luka do. He's 26, right? Luka, you're playing for whatever 24 minutes straight, but maybe give LeBron a breathing minutes and like put. That's when you throw in Dalton or Gabe for like spot minutes or DFS Rui, whoever is on the bench instead. So LeBron is obviously thing, but what was I gonna say? Yeah, what do you think about LeBron's like game in the future, for example, like going forward? Like
Oh,
now that we've seen what LeBron is capable of, which is still a high level, but there's a limit to it because of stamina and fatigue. Does like, and why I'm asking you and the audience this question is, do we still expect LeBron to be at this highest level of like, of like you have to be the second best player, or does it go as like you have to give us like Al Horford, Aaron Gordon type production? No. But I'm not saying he can't be the best player, but it does that impact winning because if he has a threshold. And before you answer, forget the GOAT conversation. This is about the Lakers.
No.
Because everyone, like obviously not a lot of people are watching this probably, but people always want to go there. It's like, oh, so now he's not, so he's gonna play like third fiddle, fifth fiddle on a championship winning team. You know what? These are supposed to be his Tim Duncan years. And Tim Duncan, when Kawhi was now the best player, when X, Y, and Z are now better, but Tim was still the second best or third
18
best.
And 12,
right?
21 and 13.
But he wasn't like eye popping. So we're gonna have to get used to LeBron not being eye popping. But Tim Duncan in late 2010s, that's what I'm kind of saying. So that's why I said Hal Horford and shit.
I'll say this, like the biggest thing for LeBron, like especially going into next season, they have to build a roster where he doesn't need to play fit more than like I don't think he should hit the threshold for All NBA next year.
Okay, that's
the number one thing. It's like I don't need LeBron playing 65 games a year. Like we have to build a roster where he is not so desperately needed to play 65 games a year,
Right.
The second thing is
right. That's expectations, though, right? You're managing.
The second thing is that we need a legit secondary facilitator for this team off the bench. That's what we need, because we're missing like a Dennis Schroeder type so badly.
Even like Malik Monk that 1 year,
like a Lonnie Walker. You know what I mean? Like those guys, a flamethrower off the bench, because bro. Every team has one now, bro.
Mm-hmm.
We have Nemhard coming off the bench, sometimes starting, sometimes whoever. And then we have Naz Reid coming off the bench here. We have on the what's it called, on the
Jabari
Celtics
Smith Jr. like Casey Wallace.
The Celtics they got Casey Wallace. On the Celtics they got Peyton Pritchard, even though he didn't have a great series. We'll get to that later. But
Ty Jerome.
Every team has one of these guys. You need it. You need one. So then, because the Lakers haven't actually put out an actual second unit in like 5 years. We don't have a second unit to play ever. We have a bunch of bums two ways that like, and we're not even the Boston Celtics where like we're $500 million over the cap. We're like, we've never been, other than the Brody years, then we've never really had cap issues like that. And yet we still can't, field a competitive roster that can go for 82 games.
Yeah.
How many games does Boston have and OKC have where they just don't, like, their superstars just don't even play?
Yeah.
They shoot 3 for 12. They go sit down after 18 minutes, and then the entire bench just explodes.
Well, you talked about Steph the other day. Game, whatever. The one they went up 3-1.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. He had, 17 points or something?
And Jokic shot 30% from the field the other day to go up 3-2.
We are the Lakers are just in this backwards thinking of how the league works, and they need to wake up. They need to wake up and be like, no, like if we want to win, it's gonna be a 2-3 year window. You're gonna build this roster, you're gonna pay for it, and then after 2-3 years, that's the window. It's over. That's just how the league works. Boston, we're already seeing the reports. Boston year, they're definitely, especially with that new owner. I've been reading up on that guy. He's gonna fry that team in half because of how much that shit costs.
Yeah. Well, Shams said it too. The sourciest of sources. Yeah.
OKC in 2 years, same thing. They're gonna play J-Dub and no way. This is not happening. Yeah. So it's just within the way the new CBA, the league works. it doesn't work like that. So that the Lakers
Well,
need to
if you draft
change
well, you
their
have a longer 10-year window. If you draft well, because it's like drafting, it's like homegrown players, less cap, this and that. But you're not in that boat. Lakers, you're middle of the pack, so like you're not drafting.
Lakers need to just. It's not more so what do we want from LeBron. It's we have to change the way we view roster building. That's the biggest thing.
That's
It's been
true.
the biggest thing for the last 3 years. LeBron's gonna be LeBron. Like I don't think like LeBron might have a drop next season where he's only averaging 23 points, 22 points a game, and you
Sure.
know, and he's not he's 22, 6 and 6 or something like that. Something might have a drop, but
Yeah.
it's like be real, guys. Like we've seen LeBron. We keep saying, "Oh, he's this age," which is impressive to watch. But
That age.
cool to play with it. Like it's not a big deal for him either.
Yeah.
Obviously, his rest and
Oh,
recovery
right.
times are extra, and the injuries. That's the thing. The biggest thing that's nagging. The injuries come because of the playing time. He has to play. He goes on a stretch of 18 games straight.
Mm-hmm.
What's it called? The January February stretch where we lost 2 games, but he played 14 games straight. Boom, next game, growing goals. Like that. It's because it's the amount he's playing
Right.
for us to get wins.
No, and that's what I'm saying. Like that's why I referenced Tim Duncan, right? Because for example, when he was 38 years old, 2014-15, and for reference, he was 10th in MVP, 8th in Defensive Player of the Year, the All Star obviously, and All NBA 13. Like this is Tim Duncan at age, what did I say? 38 years old, 14 points a game, 9 rebounds, and he played 77 games. Impressive. 28 minutes a game. But again, Greg Pop always managed everything. So all of his stars minutes. So it's kind of like the system was
I was
built.
at 34 minutes a game every year.
And you can't tell me JJ, you can't figure something out here. Come on, bro.
That's not even on JJ though.
No,
JJ
but
can only feel the roster that he
LeBron,
has.
yeah, you're right. LeBron is doing it because there's a lack thereof roster construction. Because when if I were to click this San Antonio Spurs team, you have Kawhi Leonard, you have freaking, I don't know if was Boris Diaw still there, probably giving you great minutes, and all these other Danny Green and all these other 3-and-D
Why
type
is Al,
runners.
why is Al Horford so good still? Why is he the second best center in the playoffs right now? It's because he doesn't really need to do anything in the regular season.
Kristaps too. Kristaps is in and out. He's actually has injuries.
And what's his name? The tall guy, the really tall guy, Cornette.
Cornette. They're giving them valuable minutes.
They have a rotation of players.
Yeah,
you need that.
And on paper, if tomorrow the Lakers were to be like, oh, we traded for Cornette and we traded for freaking Al Horford, how many Lakers fans are gonna be like, we're gonna win the ring? Because guess what, Boston is a big shot to win the ring. Based on a lot of factors, but that's one of the factors with those players. Look at their bench and tell me it's not. So that's what I'm saying. Rob, if you're good at your job, I think, on your stats team and whoever's out there, there's value there. You don't need to look and swing big. That's what you're kind of saying too, right?
This is a big free agency class that's coming up, especially with the centers. There's so many. Do not get Brook Lopez. I will never watch this team ever again if you get Brook Lopez. But there's a lot of centers that's going to be available and a lot of players that's going to be available. It's just about of how if we can get them,
Yeah, for sure. No, that's true. That's true. I think you were going to lead us to another part of Laker media or something like that, or Laker. I guess we're just going in Laker talks, so the full run. But
biggest thing about the way Laker fans and Laker media and Twitter and media in general just view the Lakers and Luka, especially with Luka, I get it. I'm also on that side where Luka was disappointing in a lot of ends of the game. He didn't play like Luka. Luka's a triple double machine. We can't have games where you have 31 and 1. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But it's guys, we have to give these guys some grace. You guys are so extra sometimes with the amount of attacking we do. Same thing with JJ Redick. It's we made a trade in the middle of the season. Our roster is just not competent.
That's true.
It's just not made for the style of game that Luka wants to play, that Luka and Braun want to play, that Luka, Braun, and Reeves want to play. Any of that, it just doesn't work like that, and we can't.
They're
If
all
maybe
figuring it out on the fly.
if LeBron was 5 years younger, sure, maybe it could work
Yeah,
because he could, just take over a series. But it's just not possible
that's
anymore.
not a thing anymore, right? So, yeah, that's the thing, right? Like, and being better than Luka, this, and that. It's like, okay, buddy. Like, if anything, if you want to go there, it's 1-1 now because he kicked him out of the playoffs last year. So, like, what are you doing? Like, and then Luke, like, and supporting cast also helped him bailed him out too. Like, it's like, like, bro, there's tears to this, and now you're all of a sudden like that's better. And then yeah, like you said, Tatum. Shout out to Tatum. Like he's putting together another crazy run. But people are, I
The
think,
best player in the playoffs,
slowly starting to notice like
like
more and more.
wins.
So no, it's looking great, and I'm excited for the next round of things. And speaking of the next round, I guess there's only like 3 more series left for this thing, so I think we can kind of quickly pivot to 2 games today, and then tomorrow is another game for the Rockets and the Warriors. So let's just do today in 2 hours. I think the Knicks and the Pistons are going to face off, and I think it's 3-2 to the Knicks. So who do you think? Who do you got now? Now that we're seeing everyone's play style and everything, like what are we saying? I guess we can
It's
make quick
tough. It
predictions.
is a tough one because I just think every game kind of just comes down to the same thing where it's like
Yeah,
Detroit's playing well. I mean, Knicks get out to a lead. Detroit does like some crazy clawback in the second quarter. Then Detroit like kind of holds control in the third quarter, and then this avalanche of clutchness just comes down from New York that will
Brunson's
make the
ankle.
game
Yeah,
the closest thing you'll ever see in your life.
yeah,
So it's so hard to kind of predict this like next game right now. I think Detroit's home, so I'm gonna give the edge to Detroit here. I think we're gonna go to a game 7, which you already predicted in the beginning. You
yeah.
said like
Like
this
so,
game's
that's
gonna
like
come
the
out.
only thing that's alive to be told because a lot of our series predictions are like blown up. Actually, wait, should we count on
Sweep. I called 3 of them.
Boston? I said Boston. I said OKC. I
Yeah.
said
You said Boston will give away a
Bucks.
game, which they did.
Yeah. I said, and then OKC. That was oh, I said Bucks. So okay, so I'm thinking Bucks. I got wrong. I thought
Yeah.
Giannis was gonna do the thing. The Clippers in Denver, which we're getting to secondly. Oh yeah, for the record, I do think the Knicks are gonna be like they're gonna end up like forcing. I mean, sorry, Pistons are gonna force a game 7. Pistons are home today too, so
Yeah,
I think
the biggest thing. I think that's the
I,
biggest
I
thing.
think it's gonna be a game 7 because the Knicks are mentally not there yet. That's all I see. Brunson may be the clutchest player of all time, but his team is the unclutchest. So
Bro, they feel Mikal Bridges like might be since 2022, he might be the like most disappointing player I've ever seen in my life. I don't get his I don't even know what he does other than minutes.
you know what's funny? They need to stop, like slowly come to this realization that they should do whatever they're trying to make Mikel out to be to OG Anunoby because he is way more consistent. And even that 3 he shot at the end there, like
Tobias Harris is
yeah,
became an actual useful player because of Mikal Bridges' uselessness. Like, he's
yeah.
so bad. He can't even how hard is it to take Tobias Harris out of a series? You just
Nice,
breathe on it.
nice. No, every playoff dropper, classical ones are like playoff risers this time. So it's hilarious. Like
It's crazy, dude.
it's
I just
crazy.
don't get it. I don't understand those Knicks roster minus Jalen Brunson. Like everybody, like on paper, it's like why are you guys not winning?
They're the only team that goes against your description of a championship caliber team.
You
8
they have,
deep.
they have great pieces everywhere. Like and then we have
Defenders.
the grit and grind Dennis Schroeder midget squad over here. They play Mikal Bridges, Dennis Schroeder, Asar Thompson, Cade
Oh,
lineups.
oh,
Like
Malik
what?
Beasley. Malik Beasley.
Like
Yeah.
what?
What? Yeah, it's true. Who do you think is forcing? Is it forcing game 7 for the Clippers or are Nuggets? Jokic closing this
I
up.
think it's over. I think it's over. I think it's over today. Is it
So
today? Right? Today's game
it's
something.
today at 10.
Game
Yeah,
6.
today's the second game. Yeah, Harden already said I'm going to Cancun. Like he's already, I'm good. I'm out. I can't do this
Bro,
anymore.
you know what?
Kawhi's bodies are closing in
Okay,
already.
yeah, let's talk about that real quick. You guys, you freaking dick eaters, bro. I hate y'all. Bro, Kawhi had one 30-point game,
Yeah.
one game shooting
One.
over 50%,
Yeah.
one game where he dominated, and we were saying he's the greatest of all time. We've never seen anything like this, Jordan. If he was healthy, how would we talk about him? If he was healthy, guys, how would we talk about him? Bitch, can you beat the Nuggets? No! Like, what?
Yeah.
Like, can you not even beat the Nuggets? Can you be good? Like, you're averaging 20 a game. He's a
That's
polar
the thing.
bear in Texas with that 134-point game that you had. Is it like, what are we doing here? This is what I mean, where criticism is not fair anywhere in this league.
That's true.
Kawhi Leonard doesn't play ever, so everyone's like, yo, don't talk about him. He's injured, guys. It's unfair. Okay, cool. We won't talk about him. When he plays, this is what we're seeing.
Yeah.
Where's the criticism?
Well, also,
it's about Harden. Oh,
yeah,
great.
that's true.
What's new? Harden sucks. What's new, guys?
In the playoffs, for sure. No, and well, that's the thing, because I get it. It's because the Lakers, Real Madrid, whatever. Like they're the same vibes, right? Like everybody wants to like see them crash down because they're like the biggest club in the world, organization, whatever. But it's like, Luka, LeBron is like
even the way they talk about Tatum, bro. Tatum can have one bad game. This guy Kawhi is doing nothing. He's literally doing nothing.
That's my thing, because they act like Kawhi is also doing some defensive magic.
He's doing nothing. Watch the game. He's doing nothing. He's in the freaking corner every time.
When he scores 30, whatever, the one time,
he's gonna go
they
off.
made it look like he also had like 400 steals or something, and it's like, oh, it's art. It's art.
He's gonna go off today. Watch.
It's
art.
He's
gonna have 57 points
just
or something.
He's gonna
do some Jamal Murray shit, dude. By the way, Jamal Murray is just like, he's like. I seen this the calendar of Jamal Murray.
Oh yeah,
like Jeff Green, Jordan Clarkson,
Michael Jordan,
and then Michael Jordan, and someone said, "You are here."
Yeah,
like, this is the point of this series that we're at.
There's a fourth guy.
He has the most 40-point games in Nuggets history. What?
Yeah. He has the most 40-point games in Nuggets history, and they have a center who could arguably be top 5 at the end of his career. But it's Jamal Murray. Shout out Kitchener Waterloo.
No, he is crazy. He is just like, no. You guys want to talk about how are we supposed to talk about somebody in 20 years? It's Jamal Murray. How the fuck do you talk about Jamal Murray in 20 years? 0 All-Stars, 0 NBAs, 0 awards in general.
Yeah.
The greatest playoff player I've ever seen in my life.
Like insane. And you know what? I just wish one time
the shot making is just ridiculous, bro.
Like, and it's like he goes nuts.
He goes ballistic, bro. It's like he turns into Dame. Like the only player I see do this is like Dame. Dame be like, when Dame just starts going ballistic.
Or Curry when he's 20 points ahead, right?
Curry in the regular season against in week February 12th. When that Curry for sure.
Yeah. And then the top 10 conversations come out, and then the Kobe Curry fans start beating the shit out of each other. Speaking of Steph Curry, the Rockets are gonna force. The Rockets are not home. That's
let me give you the odds real quick, okay? So the Clippers today is a -6.5.
Damn, seems like a trap still.
Yeah, that's a trap and
that's
a half, bro.
And a half.
The Rockets, the Golden State Warriors,
5.5
tomorrow are 4.5.
4.5. Okay. Yo, I'm not gonna lie. The Rockets are better. We've been saying it. We said it should have been Rockets in 5 or something at this point, or 6. But they also have demons. They have demons, bro. Like, no, not demons like, oh, they're gonna beat the shit out of you. They have demons in their head. They have mental health when they see Draymond.
It's so, dude.
Or Jimmy.
This series is just so hilarious to me because
it's weird.
Whenever the Rockets make a basket, like decide, like, hey guys, today we're shooting 45%, not 50, 44, 42%. Fuck it, we're shooting 40%. They win the game by 20.
Yeah.
That's how much of a discrepancy there is between these two teams. Like, if the Rockets could just hit shots, like Fred VanVleet, can you shoot over 40%? Jalen Green, can you shoot over 40%? They literally had a 20-point lead the entire game because they just hit shots. Somebody said, oh, look at the shots they're making. It's the same shots they're taking from before. They're just hitting them. Fred VanVleet, what do you know about Fred VanVleet? Does he ever take a good shot? No. He's never taken a good shot in his life. He just hits them or he misses them. That's all that matters.
But the same thing you just spilled about Kawhi Leonard, I honestly say the same thing about Jimmy Butler because,
oh my God,
bro,
he's the most overrated motherfucker ever, man.
It's so fake because okay, when his free throws are not being called, he is. Did you see last game? Fake demon. He did nothing
No,
to
he had
bring the
in game
charge back.
5, game 4, he had 15 in the fourth. Remember? They're like,
Yeah,
"Oh, look at Jimmy Butler, he's back. He look at him take over the ball." The entire fourth quarter was him at the free throw line.
that's what I'm saying. Like he if that's not falling, I forgot Jimmy's in the game, but he healed. So like teeth are more seen than Jimmy Butler when it comes to that because Steph, whether he's playing bad or playing good, I see that little bro just running around, if anything, he's beefing Dylan Brooks and
One thing
fighting
I'll
and
give
this and that.
Steph is that gravity shit is real, bro.
It's
Like
real. It's
it's
real.
hard. It's because you have to mark him anywhere. So
I see
he's
him.
always a threat.
I see him. He's a
He's
scare. He's in
always a threat,
fear.
and he could go 0 for 5, and then he'll
Yeah,
go on a flurry of
yeah.
four threes. Like I
But
completely understand that stuff shit.
Jimmy Butler is the same thing what you said what Kawhi Leonard is. Like, bro,
No, it's 10 times
it's
worse.
so overrated. And like the one Miami run, like cool, he beat Boston and then he went to the finals and then got mollywopped twice, by the way, actually. So shout out to him. But like that's the same thing. Like if you thought Jimmy Butler was your answer, I honestly think the Warriors should have just let this season kind of simmer away because I don't think they should go that far. If they do, it's because the other team is just like whack.
You
And
know what I think though is with the Warriors, why they did this Jimmy Butler shit is because Kuminga is like not like a not about
not
playable.
playable.
Like,
But
he's just like he's not good at all.
here's my thing. If and
Which
if
I
I'm
think he could be
if
good.
I
By the way.
put if I put on a hat like a Warriors fan hat or whatever you want to call it,
Mm,
there were so much better ways to get your roster construction if you're gonna try to replace Andrew Wiggins and not play Kuminga because now we're seeing stuff. Okay, so there's obviously like the big one that's like, could they have traded for Giannis? Because I'm like Giannis is the biggest fish that fits into their system.
mhm.
That one would have moved me. That one would have been like, oh, like Steph's whatever Steph is, and then Giannis Antetokounmpo. That's like whatever LeBron is, and then you have Luka Doncic, like a nuclear weapon, right? You just arm them. But Jimmy Butler, for the money you've given him, for this to be the end of Steph Curry's career, like you're gonna have to move one of those three to reconstruct the construction. Like Draymond has to go or something like that. Who's your vocal leader? All this, and that. Like, what are you gonna do about it? It has to be some conversations because I feel like you just tied yourself for no reason to like
The
mediocreness.
biggest thing about the Warriors though this year, it's like they could even make the Western Conference Finals, and I just don't think I don't. There's like no shot of them like making getting a ring this season, and the roster is just not going to be sustainable going forward either, like you just mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
So like with this series itself, like they could win tomorrow and like go to the next round. That's cool. I just like it's kind of like those things where it's like the Lakers in 2023. Like, cool, you made it to the Western Conference Finals, you got swept. Like, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
yeah, it's the same path. It's the same path,
it's
honestly.
just
But at least then it was like AD and LeBron still playing at a high level, and you have Anthony Davis, who's like, you believe in him as an anchor. Whereas this is like Steph Curry, cool. At the end of the day, a small guard, and then you have Jimmy Butler when the free throws aren't falling, and then Draymond Green's corpse and whatnot.
they
Like,
have flaws everywhere on the roster. This series is the exact opposite of the Lakers series, where it's like, okay, the Lakers are a good team, but like the Wolves can expose all of their flaws. The Warriors are a bad team, but the Rockets suck even
cannot
worse. Like they
expose
can't
them.
expose anything.
Yeah. It's
So
it's funny because you talk the theme of this episode is like I feel like it's like having the roster construction 8-man deep. Bro, they have Anderson Varejão's son,
post
Quinton Post, freaking a lacrosse player, Spencer something. Like
I don't
and
even know who they play half the time, bro. I don't even know who
they're
they play.
trying to do it the
But
word.
somehow Curry will never hit 40 minutes a game. They can have the most
How?
god awful roster, and Steve Kerr's like, yo, I'm managing his minutes.
Maybe
Bro. And
Steve
it's
Kerr is the greatest
Game
coach.
7 of the finals. Remember Game 7 last year against Sacramento?
Yeah,
And no, 2022, sorry.
yeah.
Against Sacramento. And Curry only played Curry. I don't think Curry cracked 40 minutes. And I was like, yo, this guy will never crack 40 minutes. Like, it's never happening.
Yeah.
Like, even if
Shout
it's a
out
game
to
7
Steve,
and he
bro.
had 50 points.
Yeah.
He
No,
still didn't crack.
shout out to Steph and Steve, whatever they got figured out. Like It works, and that's the one thing I can't give them credit for because LeBron could never see that ever, ever. I wish he had a Nemhard. Okay, like no, it's nuts. Shout out to Halliburton's dad. He's banned from the
Yo, can
next
we talk about
round's
that real quick?
Omen Run game.
Dude, that shit was so funny. That was like some of the funniest shit I ever seen in my life.
That was
Like,
joke.
what was Halliburton's dad? Do you see him go on
Yeah,
CBS or whatever, and he
and
goes
he's
like,
like, I wasn't talking to him.
"I was looking through him." All right, bro. Like
No,
you
and then
walked onto the court, stopped directly in front of Giannis, but
he turned.
enough far away enough
He
so
said,
that you don't get punched in the face, and started screaming at him with the flag. And Giannis was looking at him like, "Yo, what would happen to my life if I beat his ass right now?
yeah.
Like, would I be out the
No,
league?"
everyone's saying like we were about to get the example of the gorilla to the first human, the first man, like that
Yo,
100 man versus
when
one gorilla.
Giannis grabbed the back of Mathurin's head, I was like, "Yo, this is Planet of the Apes." When he goes, "No,"
No,
or, you know the meme where it's like,
yeah.
that boy you told on come home tomorrow.
Yeah,
Yeah, that meme.
Yeah, James Franco. When he told
The
James
James Franco
Franco,
shit.
yeah,
I was like, bro, this is Caesar, bro. Like,
yeah,
this guy's gonna kill somebody if someone says one more word.
yeah. And I there's another angle of potentially Halliburton's mom like slapping, like little like touched him when he was.
Bro, she looks like a ghoul. Bro.
When she was like when he was like talking to him, it was so funny because their interaction was, you don't disrespect me, don't effing disrespect me. And Halliburton's like, I wasn't trying to, I wasn't doing that. And he's like, I love you. It was such an aggressive. It was
Yo,
aggressive.
Giannis turned into a Nigerian warlord when he's mad, bro. I swear to God, he looks
He's
like
a demon.
like some straight out of that Diamonds in Forever movie. Diamonds in
Blood
Forever
Diamond?
movie.
Yeah.
Blood Diamond. There you go. Like the Leonardo DiCaprio. Like I swear to God, he turns, or like Idris Elba in when he's like the Somalian pirate or whatever. That movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He turns in. He like
Like
typecast. Like he becomes that. He's like
no, but he was
the straight like the Greek accent disappears. The Nigerian comes out. Like it's the funniest shit ever,
it's
bro.
crazy.
He's gone, by the way. Like there's no way.
No
way
his head was gone. Giannis also did like thank you to the fans, bro. It's Indiana fans. It's like shut the fuck up. Get out of here.
Yeah, that was such a great ending to a funny series. Like
Yeah.
that
was hilarious. That was cinema. And the one thing I would say about Halliburton, no matter what, he's cinema. Like whatever is going on in and around him.
Halliburton doesn't help himself, bro. What was that tweet for, bro?
Overrate that.
Like, bro, how corny can you get, bro?
Yeah.
Like stop.
Ladies and gentlemen,
he tried to do the LeBron shit on what LeBron did to his team on 2018, where he gets on top of the thing. He's like,
his chest. No, it's like, ladies and gentlemen, it's like it wasn't Jason Tatum, it was Halliburton. But
bro, the corniest player in the league is Halliburton. But I love him to death.
The thing is, it's because Tyrese, Halliburton. He's like, he gets the job done in the weirdest ways. Like nobody expected.
Bro, he cooked the shit out of Giannis in the game.
Yeah, no, like
that was they were up 8 with 40 seconds left. That was one of the biggest.
With his dribble package, he got the shit done. That was so.
No one can guard it. Nobody can guard it though.
Nobody can guard it.
Nobody can guard it.
That was crazy. But yeah, like I think that was a hilarious ending. I guess we'll see how the rest of the playoff series go. But yeah, not the super long.
Give a big shout out though, because we didn't talk about this series because obviously the Thunder and the Cavs, like they're 4-0 sweeps, are just better teams.
Yeah.
I mentioned it earlier in the pod. This guy is the best player in the league right now. Best player in the playoffs right now. The Boston Celtics, what Tatum has done in the last 3 games of this series is some of the most impressive shit I've ever seen in my life. Also, he's averaging right now in the playoffs 31, 5, and 11.
Damn.
On 45, 37, 90 splits. That was on the best defense in the league.
Magic.
The best defense in the league. No Drew Holiday. Porzingis sucks ass. So I don't think people understand like how much of a complete player Jason Tatum is at this point in his career. I think he's the most complete player in the league right now. There's not a single flaw he has
It's
right
true.
now.
No,
But
I
especially the way he's playing this year, he's playing so much more free. And that wrist selling, that's tough. That's tough. That
I'm
makes
not
you
gonna. I
top
think that's
five.
the
That makes you
word
top
though.
five.
I think winning a championship helps. He is comfortable now, like
He's
with
playing
whatever
so
he does.
free, so
The
free.
and I think it translates to the rest of the team, no matter who's playing good or bad. And Joe's not like he's a crazy coach. But back to Tatum, like that unlocks you, right? It's like you enter zone easily. Like everything. Like you're not gonna worry about the next shot. You know what you're gonna do every single time. He's like super assassin mode. Like he is the assassin we should be talking about.
I praise this Boston team a lot, like for just the team itself. But
Mhm.
this year, especially if you watch that Magic series, bro, and I literally, bro, wanted to have this conversation because I need to bring this up. Go back to the 2024 last year's Eastern Conference Finals. This is how I know this league is so fake. He averaged 30, 10, 6, and through two stocks per game on 47, 30, 70. His 3 point was egregious. He averaged that and he didn't win Eastern Conference Finals MVP.
Yeah,
Okay?
yeah,
So,
yeah.
but if you watch this series, he does, which I talked about this last year. He does everything on this team.
Mhm.
It's not that nobody does anything. He does everybody's job. He does it. So then
Yeah.
everybody's job is way easier.
Right, right.
Guards 1 through 5, like with ease. Like it's not even like a problem for him anymore. Guarding 1 through 5. Rebounds the most in the game. Every defensive rebound he's at, offensive rebounds he's there. Obviously his offensive game has always been there, but his offensive game is so much more consistent and fluid now. Like, but
Mhm.
it's all the little things that he does. He does every little thing. Like the things that we praise Drew Holiday and Derek White, Peyton Pritchard, and the rest of them for, he does it already, plus being the superstar. That's my biggest thing with him. It's like nobody ever talks about all the other. He's averaging 11 rebounds a game.
Yeah. No, it's true. He's like I think everyone's saying like it's funny because he's like the modern day Tim Duncan, right? Like the words you said, no one talks about and no one will ever talk about. You know
And
what I
he
mean?
does everything. Like
And
he is
he's
such a good.
if people say the 2010 no 2000s or whatever was Kobe's era when Tim was doing insane consistency, but one was getting all the praise and all the notoriety and all that stuff, and Tim Duncan is just Tim Duncan strolling on by. That's the thing. That's how it's gonna be low key, and like whether it's Luka, whether it's Shea, whether it's Ant, I think is even noisier because I mean American two-way for sure. I'll give out that too.
Father
Uh,
or not father.
not father because no offense, Luca will always have haters by the media. I'm talking by the way too, not just fans media. Luca will always have that thing. Shea will I don't think will get that peak credit as he deserves. This is probably the peakest he's ever getting, the MVP this year. But Ant will always be thrown into the best player in the world conversations when for
Bro,
doing
they're throwing him in right now. He had 13 and 17 last two
yeah.
games.
But Tatum will always be the hey guys. Hey guys.
This is my last stat. Ready?
Yeah.
So people say so I seen a tweet the other day said Jason Tatum the only superstar that can score under 20 on bad efficiency and still get praised for intangibles. Ant in game 5, 5 for 19, win. Ant in game 1, 8 for 22, win. Jokic in game 5. This is all this year's
Yeah,
this
yeah.
season. Jokic in game 5, 4 for 13, win. Steph in game 4, 6 for 13, win. Shane game 1, 4 for 13, win. Kawhi in game 4, 7 of 17, win. Only player it's this weird thing with y'all. Only player in the league that can have a bad shooting night, and it's like, oh my god, his team is so stacked. Oh my god, 31 a
Yeah.
game.
No, but that's the thing, and like real quick to that too, where it's like that list of like the best players of the game or whatever that chart you showed me, and LeBron had two of those performances and lost,
Oh yeah,
and everyone else won their games. Like again, maybe Tatum's going that route, which is unfortunate for him because it sucks, bro. He's part of the Boston Celtics too, which I'm not saying and a lot of people hate the Celtics just as much as they hate the Lakers, but you're supposed to think
I
that
still
they also
refuse to
get
put him top 5.
like a lot
Like
of love, right? But yeah, he better. but he better be careful because he's doing good now. But by the Eastern Conference Finals, the last year the Demon shot 52% from the field, 30 points per game. Jaylen Brown, if he wakes up, it's over again.
Jaylen Brown had a great series, that series too. I'm not saying that he sucks or something.
No, I know,
I'm
but it's
just saying,
just a joke.
bro, like the shit that they don't be doing, like intangibles. Like that guy said, oh, everybody talks about intangibles. Nobody talks about his intangibles. That's the biggest point.
And again, it's a little LeBron-esque because when LeBron's team wins, it's Kyrie scored. Kyrie hit the last shot, and so hit 500 threes, and AD is the best player on the Lakers, not LeBron. Blah 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 blah. And you saw literally a great example of that last year where Jaylen Brown guarded Luka. Jaylen Brown's Eastern Conference Player of the conference, whatever Eastern Conference Player of the conference or whatever the hell it's called, like all that stuff. The Larry Bird Trophy.
When Porzingis couldn't play, when Porzingis only played one game the entire playoff run, and Al Horford can only play 24 minutes per game, who was guarding the centers?
Yeah. So
it is funny though. He does everything. He's basically at this point like he's the same build as 2015, like second Cleveland Brown. So like it just like he just can do it all.
Yeah.
Right. He might be the most similar. Like he can just do it all. His scoring style is way different, but everything else he just does it. He's also a Swiss Army knife of a player.
He's also 6'8" and 27 years old. Like, truth be told, I thought wings were always our favorite players to watch. At the end of the day, it started from Mike. It did, right? Mike, Kobe, LeBron, like the wings, right? But then it's like
Kawhi, KD,
sorry,
Tracy McGrady,
all the real hooping, and I know the masterclass of like shooting art and
Joe Johnson,
athleticism,
Jamal Crawford,
Paul Pierce was a killer. This and that, Vince Carter, whatever. And then Jason Tatum's doing this at the highest levels in his era and everything, and it's like, nah, but like Booker and Book, you know what I mean? But like they're tired of Booker because he's not winning anymore, and this that. So now it's Tatum, now it's Ant. Yeah.
And it's like nobody's more consistent with him as him too. Like, bro, I'm in the Eastern Conference Finals every year of my life. I always go on this round. I'm not gonna do it again. But like,
it's a long story.
Especially this year, like. He just played the best defense. My biggest thing is he played the best defense of the year in the league. He averaged 31 and 11. Like that's how you know. Like it's getting super easy for him in the playoffs now.
Yeah, he's like automatic.
And the rest of the team, like the Celtics, literally couldn't shoot the ball this entire series because of the Magic play. Like, what's it called? Arteta. Communist defense. Like it's the most egregious physical shit you'll ever see in your life. Like nobody wants to play against that. All the Celtics players were like, yo, I'm glad
like we're beating the shit out of us.
Like they're like,
you want to play rugby or something.
I don't want to play anymore.
Yeah. That's true.
But then so next series, whoever they play, like they're licking their chops because if the Knicks want to come to Boston, bro, they might. Two of them might average 30 a game. Like that's how good their offense is.
Yeah, it's
that's
true.
how impressive.
No, everything's
impressive.
clicking.
Orlando's defense was too, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, everything's clicking for them, so it's looking good. Though the reason why I always had like Luka above him a little bit is because Luka didn't need time to figure out the playoffs. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
No, and like that's why I'm about to give Tatum credit though, because look, if Luka is super talented and it's just like thing, but Tatum's it's the whole hard work and talent thing, right? Tatum's now whatever time it took to get here, and it's a learning experience. No one expects everyone to be like, straight off the bat. Well, LeBron, what was your first playoff game, right? Like that's the kind of thing. But Tatum is now eclipsing that and becomes this efficient monster playing defense and all that stuff. It's harder. It's going to get way harder for people like me to argue Luka over Tatum based on, and it's not about rings. It's about play style and it's about consistency and it's about, just winning.
The biggest knock on him, especially last season, was the efficiency and the scoring.
Efficiency,
because nobody else talked about anything else, like, his defense or his elite rebounding or guarding centers, guarding whatever. Because he does all that, and I guess that's expected for him.
They were nitpicking,
not expected for other people, by the way. It's only expected for him, but like now it seems especially because I'm telling y'all, this Magic defense is so brutal. Like it's one of the worst defenses to play against, and he looked comfortable out there, man. It's gonna be scary.
No, it's true.
OKC is the only team that can talk to them,
Which is gonna
and the
be
Cavs.
I'm interested to see how those series are gonna go now, especially now that the Lakers are out and I could just like watch basketball for the sake of
Yeah, it's
watching
gonna be fun.
basketball. It's gonna be interesting. Yeah, and enjoy this era of like all these young guys trying to do something with like there's some experience still left in like Jokic team. Obviously, Tatum and Jokic are kind of in that same
I'll
ballpark.
say this
And then
last point is,
Warriors, but yeah,
I guess the last point I'll say is that people keep saying that, when LeBron leaves or when KD leaves or when Steph leaves, this league's finished. Bro, those three guys have been getting their skulls cracked in for the last 4 years. Like, you know
yeah.
what I mean?
LeBron's
Like
like 2-12 in his
these
last like
these
playoff
new
game.
kids, they don't give a damn about it. They don't give a damn about these old heads, bro. They've gotten them out of the paint. We are stuck on nostalgia. We as
Yeah,
fans and media are stuck on
for
nostalgia.
sure, for sure.
These new guys have taken over. It's already a new era. It's
Yeah,
not about them anymore.
but that's why like I hope everyone enjoys our podcast. But like we kind of you guys can tell we've latched on to certain young and already established but not like legend status yet stars, and the debates will happen. Hopefully we'll get more people to throw more shots at each other about like who to defend. But we already kind of moved on to those ones. Like when we talk about LeBron and KD and Steph, it's like the jig is up. Like it is up. Everything they do now is like
Like,
cool.
I
Like,
don't,
but
everything
we've
is
moved
legacy
on.
talks with them whenever we talk about it, right? And
Yeah,
like, if they lose, oh, it's over for them. If they win, it doesn't matter. So like,
yeah,
bro, let these guys just end out their careers how they're gonna end out. Obviously, they're trying to
yeah.
win, but like, there's so many. These new guys are crazy, man.
They're insane. They're insane. And you know what? Hopefully they're gonna, that's the one thing to add too, right? He's kind of become the old guard slayer, like whatever the king slayer, which
Basically,
is cool. Like that's working out for him. And I hope the rest of them just continue to play at their peak levels. Like that's all we kind of want. Let the game continue to grow, and that's a big talking point too. Because for me, basketball is not dead, and
no,
soccer is definitely not dead based on the if you're
no.
watching the Champions League. So the sports are in great places, man. It's in great places. You just have to know where to watch and how to watch it. Leave your
And also,
bias aside.
like, put
Yeah,
away the nostalgia goggles. You'll be fine.
facts,
This
facts.
is one of the best playoffs we've seen in a minute.
Yeah, and it's
Even if
funny.
teams are
The
getting swept,
the
like, it's
Celtics didn't
fun as hell.
even shoot 10 million threes. They had to change their play style because the Magic were that like kind of crazy. But you know what? That's a kind of like I guess we could stop there for this
Yeah.
episode. Thanks for tuning in for another episode of the Ridgeway Pod. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Comment, like, and subscribe. And yeah, see you guys in the next episode of the Ridgeway Pod.
Soon.